Welcome back to another week of First Down Friday. I'm your co-host, Tucker Moore, here with my co-host, Johnny Felder, and we are just back for another week of fun-filled, action-packed football for you guys. Now this week, it is our fall break here at Newberry College, so we're going to have a little more of a brief episode, but we will still recap games from last week and also get into some of the biggest games this week. So I'm really excited, Johnny, excited to be here.
Right.
And let's go over our predictions for last week's games. Now, I went 3-3 personally. Think you went 2-4. It was kind of a rough week for both of us.
It was pretty rough. I'm not gonna lie, but there was a whole lot of upsets last week, and pretty much that's what we're here for.
Yeah, that's right. And one of the biggest games of the week, one of the biggest shockers of the week, we had Florida take down Texas. Now,
I'm not gonna lie. Also, there's another shocker, but we gonna talk about that one after this.
Yeah. Getting into this one a little bit, I think I just had put too much faith in Texas, despite how poor their offenses looked.
Right.
I thought maybe this could be a really good bounce back type of get the ball rolling type of game. Clearly, I was wrong. Those struggles on offense were consistent this week. Arch Manning still has just really been disappointing this year, rather. And the Florida team, I think they really had that battery in their back based on how desperate they were.
Mm-hmm.
They've already lost 3 games.
Right.
Billy Napier kind of on the perpetual hot seat. I feel like his whole career doing just enough, going out and getting that big win. I think they really, really needed that.
Right.
I think they just wanted it more. I mean, quite frankly, I didn't see it coming, but they went out and got a big win.
Yeah. So on that note, another big upset that we have to talk about. What is up with Penn State? With UCLA? Like, it's just like one of those things. Like, are you serious? Like,
Yeah,
James Franklin.
That was undoubtedly the biggest shocker of this year so far. I mean, I just don't get it.
I literally don't have no words, and it's like mind-boggling to me. Like, Nico really did better than Drew Eller, and then even after the game, media had came to him asking, "Oh, were they still in the playoffs?" He said, "Yeah." It's like, bro, like no.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. It's so shocking because of how horrible UCLA has looked. I mean, this is a team that lost to New Mexico State.
First game.
This is a team that was 0-4 rather. Sorry.
And they lost a whole coaching staff too.
Coach got fired the week prior. Have an interim head coach. I believe there was their offensive coordinator. All signs pointed toward Penn State coming in, getting a big bounce back win after their loss to Oregon last week. Mm-hmm. It's just baffling. There's no other words to say about it. I mean, what? There's nothing. There's no real way to quantify what happened there.
Yeah.
I think one thing I'll look at is their leading rusher, Penn State's, Nick Singleton. Only having 9 carries. I don't know what their game plan was there.
I just really found it just really suspect about his carries. Like you said, 9 carries. Like, come on now. Like, there's no way that their defense is that good.
I don't know, but that's not even a game we covered last week. But we had to mention that. I mean, what a shocker that was. But getting into some of the games we did cover, Miami and FSU. Now, this was a really good game.
Right.
I honestly think the score was a little bit of a closer than if you watched the game it would have indicated, because I think Miami controlled this game the entire game.
From start to finish.
Yeah, they really proved me wrong. I picked FSU to win personally, but Miami, they are just grown men. They are athletes. They are aggressive. They are violent. They don't call them the convicts for no reason.
Right.
They came out and they executed their game plan perfectly. Carson Beck shut me up about calling him a game manager last week. They just really came out and did what they had to do to get a close win.
I'd just like to highlight one of the other players, Malachi Tony. He had a really big game against
Kadarius Toney's relative.
Yeah, so Malachi Tony, man, like he's a freshman, but he's a dog, 3-star coming out of high school. Like he just plays his butt off every game that he plays. Like earlier in the season, you should have really had seen the film on him with his blocking. Like he goes out there and does what he does.
Yeah.
Like I believe like he was the biggest player out that game.
Yeah. And as far as FSU goes, started off hot this year. They've obviously cooled down a little, despite Miami being a very tough opponent.
Right.
2 straight losses. Started out 3-0, but I think they're still a very quality team. We'll see kind of how they move forward from this and bounce back, but definitely a tough loss for them. But I don't think we'll see the last of them.
Yeah, I was about to say like FSU. I feel
think
like
they'll
they're
be
going to
all
bounce
right,
back.
but I think they'll be all right. I think that Virginia loss was really detrimental. But speaking of Virginia, we had Virginia and Louisville. We predicted this game. I predicted Louisville to win.
I predicted
Virginia wins in overtime, 30-27.
And we predicted like that was a really close game, and we've been on it with the score.
We weren't too far off. I think we were just both off. We thought
with the team winning.
Yeah. I think it was obviously a really good game. It went to overtime. I think a lot of the narratives we discussed in this game held true, even though we predicted Louisville to win. I think their run game was really good. They had trouble stopping those 2 guys. And as far as Virginia, Chandler Morris came out and he just led the offense in the way he was supposed to.
Yeah,
like he did versus FSU. And,
like everything that we had talked about and we spoke to in existence about what Chandler Morris can do, especially about with his game decision, like everything that he did in that week.
Yeah.
And that's just straight facts. So I just got to give my flowers out to him.
Yeah, that was a really fun game to watch. And then we have obviously Alabama and Vanderbilt. I was most excited for this game, I think.
Me too. Like
and it lived up to the hype.
Yeah, so I was just watching the game and everything like that too, and it was just really just one of those things, man. Like Diego Pavia, man.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah. Obviously, I predicted Alabama to win. You predicted Vanderbilt, which it was looking like a good prediction midway through.
Until
it was a really good game
comes.
throughout. Vanderbilt actually controlled the lead for a while in this game. It wasn't looking too good for Alabama, but I will say Ty Simpson has really come along.
He's proving himself week by week.
I was just watching the game, and not to get too preemptive, but he was looking like an NFL quarterback out there with the way with the velocity he has on his throws and his accuracy, and just his stance and just how he looks. He really impressed me. I'm not gonna lie. I could see he has a lot of upside. I think since that first week, he had a really rough week. Obviously, it being his first start. But, yeah, in this game, he looked really, really good, really poised.
Right.
He's mobile. He can get out there. So I was just really impressed with him. And ultimately, he led his team to the win over Vanderbilt. Yeah. And I just think it was a really, really hard-fought game for Alabama. Obviously, they pulled away a little in the end.
So, with that game, here's the thing about it is first half – they really couldn't even stop what Vanderbilt was doing, especially within that run game. But second half, I don't know what lit a fire under them after the halftime. But, man, that defense, though, they really shut Diego Pavia and that whole offense up. Eli Stowers couldn't come through when he needed to come through, especially on those third downs and stuff like that for his team pretty much.
Yeah. Either way, a great slate of games this past weekend.
Ooh, Lord.
Like I said, I went 3-3 personally, 2-4. This week with our upcoming picks, hopefully we'll do a little bit better, but we'll get to those predictions and more in a moment.
Yes.
I know that was... Welcome back to First Down Fridays. I'm your co-host, Tucker Moore, and I'm joined here by my co-host, Johnny Felder.
Yes, sir.
And now we're going to get into our predictions, score predictions for this week's slate of games. We have 5 really big games for you. This is a great week for college football.
Yes, it is.
Very exciting games. And I want to start off with South Carolina and LSU. Now, this is a huge game for both teams. Really, I think we say it every week, especially for South Carolina LSU. They're like must-wins for both teams each week. And this is just a huge one. South Carolina coming off a bye week after the week prior, getting a big win versus Kentucky. And, both teams are just really – they're still in the hunt for the playoffs, South Carolina, even though they have a absolutely brutal stretch ahead of them.
Right.
LSU looking to come in at home in Death Valley at night, looking to go out and get the win over them. South Carolina is looking to get revenge after last year's a controversial game. What is your key factors in this game, and if either team wants to get the win?
So for South Carolina, with me, consistency, especially on offense. The reason why I say that on offense is because I feel like they have to get started early within the run game itself. Let Rasul, Fajon get a few carries, get that offense opened up, get the offensive lineman dirty, and especially get the passing game ready. And then on the defensive side, if the secondary can stay down and just pretty much, just not let no big plays get past them, then South Carolina very well has this game on lock if they can do what they need to do in order to win.
With this game, my initial thoughts are, in this bye week, what has South Carolina done to address the run game problem?
Right.
Have they mixed and matched offensive line combinations? Have they, went over different game plans, different
packages?
Different packages, different, rotating different players in. Have they focused on perimeter run blocking?
Right.
Because that's been a huge concern. Despite how much they've struggled on offense, they've still really committed to running the ball, and I think that's where you see this offense being stagnant. For example, Lenore Sellers only attempted 14 passes last game.
Yeah.
And he's averaging around 13, 14 passes a game. It's like, okay, you see that your biggest strength this year has been throwing the ball. What are we going to do this week to maximize that? And also, what are we going to do to maximize utilizing Lenore Sellers' running ability? At the end of the day, he is your best runner for this offense. So how can they be creative, get him outside the pocket, get him on the move, even getting him, rolling him out, throwing the ball? That's
especially
where he's at his best.
Action.
Yeah. Just utilizing the weapons that you have, I think, is going to be very crucial for this game. And as far as LSU, they have a really elite defense. That's what I'm concerned about for South Carolina. They're going to have to come out and show some looks to them that they haven't seen before. They're going to have to know how to pick up their blitzes. They like to blitz a lot. They have a lot of blitz packages. And now on the flip side, for LSU, their offense has not been impressive. I'm not as worried about their offense as I would have been a few weeks ago coming into this game. I think Garrett Nussmeier hasn't really played all that well. Their run game has not been good at all.
Right.
They lost a lot of production on the offensive line in this last year's draft. So they're kind of working with what they have, but I'm kind of looking at this potentially being a little bit of a low-scoring game, in my opinion. I'm thinking, and I do think South Carolina is going to find a way to win the game.
I feel like they're going to get the upset too, but they're just, like you said, they're just going to have to find a way. In whatever we spoke on this podcast right now, they have to do in order to win the game. Like you said, we're not so worried about LSU and Garrett Nussmeier's offense or whatnot because they really haven't been doing nothing. But the defense is really what we're going to have to worry about. And the player that I would like to highlight, he's a 6'5" corner. He's a freshman, DJ Pickett.
Oh, yeah. Hey,
like
slap him on Nick Harbor and call it a day.
That's an elite. That is an elite.
That's a crazy matchup, by the way. Yeah.
What? A crazy build.
Yeah, they got some insane players on that defense, especially Harold Perkins.
Yes.
He's a dog, just a straight dog. So with that, I think both defenses are going to come out and play very well. I think both defenses are really capable and good, especially looking at South Carolina's defense. the week prior versus Kentucky. They played their best game thus far. So kind of getting into that, my score prediction for this one is 20-17 South Carolina. And, me being a South Carolina fan, maybe I'm being optimistic. I don't know. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game regardless. But, yeah, that's what I kind of have for this week.
I feel like it's going to be closer to yours. It's going to be a 24-17 type of game.
I got you. Yeah, really exciting game regardless. But I want to move on to Alabama and Missouri. This is a huge one. Obviously, Missouri coming in undefeated. Alabama coming off of a big win versus Vanderbilt. A couple of big wins, actually, defeating Georgia the week prior. This is a really interesting game. Now, obviously, the highlight of Missouri's, their offense and their team is Ahmad Hardy, their running back. They just shred defenses on the ground. They've done it year in and year out, kind of. But, I mean, their run game, their outside zone run game specifically is just really, really potent.
Right.
And I'm excited to see how they're going to match up with Alabama. At the end of the day, Alabama has one of the more talented defenses in the country you see, just as far as talent. Maybe not stats-wise, but as far as who they have, their personnel on that side of the ball, I really think I think they match up well with what Missouri does well. So I'm excited for this one. My key factor, obviously, kind of like I mentioned, how is this Alabama defense going to affect Ahmad Hardy and that running game? And ultimately, I do see Alabama coming out with the win. I have them winning 30-20. Yeah, that's kind of what I have. I think it'll be a little bit of a tight game. I just think Alabama has the edge in my book.
I really like what you had said, especially with Bama, especially with their defense. They are really going to have to come into this game with stopping Ahmad Hardy in that run game, because Missouri's running game has been going berserk. And I'm not just talking about like straight up berserk, like just really crazy. But I feel like Alabama should come in and address the issue within that problem. So I feel like Alabama is going to win that one. I'll give it a 31-20 type of game.
Yeah. I think it'll be around that range. I think it'll be close for most of the game. I think Alabama will pull away in the end, getting about a 10-point win. So moving on to one of the more exciting games of the week, we have Oklahoma and Texas. Now obviously the big headline in this game, John Mateer, most likely out for I believe the third consecutive week. He had a broken hand, I believe.
His throwing hand, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, a handful of weeks ago. So that is a big headline in this game. Now, with that, if he were to play, for whatever reason, easily taking Oklahoma. Without him playing, I believe Michael Hawkins is going to step in for him. I actually have Texas coming out and winning this game. I think they're in desperate need. I kind of talked about how desperate Florida was this past week. Right. I think Texas is in that same boat. They are in desperation of a big win. And what better time to do it to a top 5 team without their Heisman-level quarterback?
Especially during rival week, too.
I think it's the perfect time for them to come out and get a bounce-back win. And, yeah, this game is always heated. It's always very close, always very competitive. So, at the end of the day, I do think Texas is going to have their marquee kind of bounce-back win. I have them, and as far as Arch Manning, I don't know if that offense is going to get it going. I do see them – I just cannot see them starting 3-3. To be honest with you, that's another factor.
Right.
I think Steve Sarkisian is going to get these guys ready, and I think they're going to come out and win about 24-14. I think it'll be something around that. I don't know how potent their offense is without John Mateer.
Right. I couldn't have agreed with you even more with that. And it's really just one of those matchups that's really just shaky to me. But I really do feel like Texas is going to come out on top. Not only does Texas need this, but they just really need a little bit more of a confidence boost in order to finish out the year strong. I believe that this game right here will will bring them back up with their confidence. It's a big rivalry week, and ain't nothing good but taking out a top 10 team, especially with their Heisman runner just being out, honestly. So I really couldn't have agreed with you more. And I do have Texas with that upset, but my scoring is a little bit different. My scoring is 21-14.
Okay. Yeah, pretty close on that. I think it'll be a little more of a low-scoring game, in my opinion. Both teams have great defenses.
Right.
So. And both will be lacking some offensive firepower. So
Lord have mercy.
Without John Mateer and then Texas just being Texas. So, but moving on to our last game, we have number 7 Indiana versus number 3 Oregon. Ranking-wise, definitely the biggest game of the week. 2 top 10 teams. Really big playoff implications. What are you leaning towards in this game? What are your thoughts first on Indiana and how they match up with this Oregon team?
So I really feel like how they could compare to Oregon, well, they're really going to have to address Oregon's passing game. I mean, their passing game right now is elite and their running game, but I feel like their defense should give them enough problem to be able to keep up in this game, but ultimately, I feel like Oregon is going to find a way to, just win this game. And I feel like it's going to be like last prediction, 21-14. I feel like Indiana is going to do something, but I feel like they're not going to get it done late.
I feel you. Yeah. I mean, this is a really interesting game. Indiana's really given me a lot to think about based on that dominant win they had versus Illinois, putting up 63 points like they did. Do I think Oregon is definitely the more talented team? Yes. But with Kurt Signetti and the way he's coached this team up and their offensive firepower, the way they've come out and played, I'm taking the upset in this one. I'm taking I think Indiana is going to come out and kind of hit them in the mouth early. I think they're going to get up early on them, and I think Oregon's going to kind of have to fight back. I think it's going to be a shootout, in my opinion. I think it's going to be a little bit of a shootout. Ultimately, I think I'm going to have Indiana winning 35-31, something like that. I'm feeling a little bold with that one, but I just feel something in my bones. I just feel Indiana's really they've surprised me a lot. I didn't think they were legit like that. Like I said, that win versus Illinois, they kind of really shocked me. So
they blew me too.
I'm expecting them to come out and really play hard. Either way it goes, I think it'll be a really good game. I do have Indiana kind of coming with the upset, though.
All right.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things, man. Like, it's either's team to win or lose for this one, but just tune in for this weekend for that game especially. Oh, yeah. It's going to be a really big week of games, and I can't wait to watch these games and report back to you guys, obviously, next Friday with our recap of that. But that's going to do it for this week, guys. Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you guys next Friday for more First Down Fridays.